Let's talk about Firebase and ClojureScript. So, the goal of this talk is to show you a mini app I built for the occasion, and to see how we can go serverless by adding the Firebase database, and we'll see how to write to Firebase and how to read from Firebase, and that's it. So the mini app, I didn't do a to-do app. I wanted to do something different, so I'm going to show you what it is. Oh, small. Okay, so there's two buttons, one open parenthesis, one close parenthesis, and well, you get the idea, right? So you might think it's useless, but I think it's satisfying. So to build this app, I just downloaded two NPM dependencies. So the first one is Shadow CLJS. Neil mentioned that. It's an all-in-one ClojureScript build tool. And the other dependency is Firebase, which is a web app dev platform built on Google. And I also like to describe it as AWS, but with good UX. And the ClojureScript dev is just reframe, so the framework to build single-page application. So let's see in the code how it looks like. It's too small, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So Shadow is serving this index file, and the important part here is the main JS file. It comes from the Shadow file. So here it's a result of the compilation of the main module, and this module is calling this init function from the main file. So let's see. This main function is super simple. It's just initializing the DB and mounting the main reagent React component onto the DOM. And so let's look at the component, the view. So we just have two subcomponents, right? The buttons and the parentheses. The buttons, quite simple. We're also using tactions, like Neil mentioned actually here, like for the CSS. So when you click on a button, we dispatch a reframe event, the add event, and basically it's just adding the parentheses to the DB under the parents keyword, right? And then we have a reframe subscription that we grab the value under the parents keyword and we display it in the interface. So that's the idea, right? So it's cool, it's working, but one thing is sad here, right? Because if I reload, I lose my parentheses because they're not saved, and I cannot, go multiplayer on that. So we'll see how to use Firebase. So yeah, the idea is to, instead of here writing to the DB directly, we want to write to Firebase first. So let's see how it works. So it's not going to be live coding, it's going to be live checkouting branches. Yeah. Whoa. Sorry. Yeah. So now instead of writing to the DB, we use another effect called Firebase write, and we're just saying write under the path parents2, write the element, the parentheses. And the effect is actually a one-liner. It's just calling Firebase database. That's a JavaScript dependency, but we're using Shadow, so it looks like ClojureScript. And we're just saying push that value under that path. So if I reload, and now I click on the button, nothing happens, but you can see on Firebase, under the parents2 path, it's actually, okay, can you see it? Let's do it too. On the parents2 path, it's adding parentheses, right? It's a real-time database. It's Firebase real-time database. And now, obviously, we want to read from Firebase. So again, here it's we need to change to read from Firebase, and we want to change the init event. And so let's check out the branch. Right. So instead of initializing the DB with we put an empty map, and we use the Firebase read event. That's basically saying watch the data under the parents to path, and when the data changes, dispatch that event with the value, with the data, and this event is just putting that data under the parents keyword. The effect, it's about calling Firebase database and attaching a listener on the onValue event in Firebase, extracting the data and dispatching it to the event. So let's see, load to init again. So now, yeah. So it's reading from the DB, and now when I add my parentheses, we see that it's working. So yeah, just to know that it's like having a one-way data flow, because from the front end, I'm writing to Firebase, and then Firebase is writing to the local DB in one-way data flow. And since Firebase is using WebSockets, it feels like it's happening on the client. So now the last step is to deploy it. I actually did that, and if someone can put his phone up and scan that QR code, so I'm not lonely on my web app. Yeah, we'll go multiplayer, mass multiplayer. Are you on it? So now that's live. So, oh yeah, damn, I've never seen. So it can actually, so it's interesting, like string parentheses, right? The good thing about that is that since we're using Firebase, it can actually scale to 200,000 simultaneous connections at once, like this web app. So the sky is the limit pretty much for this one. The free tier is generous, I think that's good, but compromise. We have a huge vendor lock-in. You have to know that. So I guess that's it. The bonus, I'm just gonna show you that I also wrote I wrote a Firebase cloud function, so serverless endpoint, and you can put /last, and you get the last parenthesis. So you can actually, a developer can build on top of our web app now, right? And this cloud function is written in ClojureScript as well, and compiled with Shadow, targeting node. So that again, I'm Theo. That's me in the AMOC, and I'm the co-founder of Multis. We're doing crypto-first business banking, full-stack ClojureScript. We're remote from Europe, and yeah, if you're interested, ping me. Thank you.